Hello everybody, this is a Lamley showcase. I finally have them all. Every Walmart Zamac and Target Red Edition released in 2025. 12 of each. 12 Zamacs, 12 Red Editions. Store exclusives. It's time to open them up and add to the collection. I collect every Zamac and every Red Edition. I like doing that because it gives me kind of a cross-section of models kind of that are, of the day, so to speak, and gives me at least one example of maybe some castings that I don't typically collect. So I enjoy collecting these lines. Last year, Zamacs went from 18 to 12. Red Editions have always been 12 each year. And now we have them all. So we're going to open up an order, add them to the collection. You guys can tell me what you think about the overall releases and then maybe some of your favorites. We'll talk about that as we go. Let's move to the studio. All right, here we are. I've got my Zamac collection, at least the latest case from my Zamac collection. So let's go ahead and open it up so we can add the new cars. We'll open the Zamacs first. If I go up this way, you can see there are the 12 from 2024. Highlights for me, I think the Civic always is. I really like the Lamborghini, the Acura, and the Audi. The Zinger was also one of those clean plain Zamacs, and we've gone over these, and recently we've gone over some store exclusives. So those are the last 12, and we just happen to have 12 slots for this year's batch, one issue being, of course, well, we'll get to it, and it will actually be with number 1. Let's open these up in order. We start with number 1, and number 1 provides some, well, for collector nerds like me, this is the Mazda AutoZam. This was the Legends winner from 23 maybe, or 20, I don't remember, but obviously they replicated it and became a Zamac this year. So let's go ahead and open it up. I'll go from this side. The issue with this one being, I'll just kind of show it to you kind of up close. The issue with this one being that it's so big and so wide, I can't fit it this way, and I can't fit it this way. It's too tall. And this is the first model from all of the Zamacs. There's been some that are too long for the slots, so I can fit them there, but this is the first one that I can't actually put in the container, and I mean wham wham, oops. When Zamacs fall out of the case, it's not a big deal because they're Zamac. No paint chips. So I just have to put this one off to the side. I'm really annoyed about that. Obviously, not a huge deal, but what are you going to do? All right, that's number 1, is the Mazda AutoZam. Just put it right there for now in my annoyance. You go and sit in the corner because you're busted. This is number 2, Custom 53 Chevy. This, by the way, I guess I should probably comment on these models. It's fine. That's fine. It's just too big. Custom 53 Chevy. This one is a pretty nice design, this Tiki Time design. I actually really like this casting. This is number 2, by the way. You can show you there, number 2. Toss these on the floor. And I'm not even putting these on the turntable. We're just going through this. This looks like it might be an opening hood. It's not. It's actually part of the window piece, and it's like this custom clear hood, which I think is a kind of a cool detail on this casting. It's been around for a few years, and this Tiki Time is okay as well. So we're kind of in a, I'll put it where it's supposed to go. We're kind of like, I guess I could, I grade the cases as I unbox them. Maybe at the end of these 12, we'll grade these, and then we'll move on to the Red Editions, like the overall, because it's not a strong start. This is number 3, Subaru BRZ. This was started as an ID model, if I remember correctly, right? And then moved to basic when the ID line was killed. There's the Subaru deco on this one. Kind of nice. These Zamacs. Now, I guess I didn't explain, but I don't know if I need to for the viewers, but there's always new viewers. The Zamacs are Walmart exclusives, and Zamac stands for something I can't remember, but it's basically a bare model variant of a basic model. So this deco, this Subaru deco is, you'll see it on a mainline and maybe 1 or 2 colors. And then in this case, they just went with a raw or, no base paint, and then just changed the color of the decos and made this special edition. So there's also, if I can get it there, it's hard to see on this one, but there's actually a Zamac logo on this as well with the number. So that's the Subaru BRZ. The Drift model, I think they went off of the premium and then just, removed the front bumper to make it more of a drift variant or a drift type. 1988 Jeep Wagoneer. My decasting is decent. It's somewhat based on, this is number 4, somewhat based on the premium, I think, that was in, what was it? Boulevard in like 2013 or 2012 or something like that. Where is that Zamac? There's the Zamac logo right there. That's easier to see. So I don't even remember what the base colors of this one. If I remember, maybe black, but I could be wrong on that one. This one's, the deco is okay. It's probably one of those art cars too. You can see I get passionate about some. I don't about others. It just is what it is. When you're doing a cross section of models, you're obviously going to have some that you really like. Like, for example, this Audi, I think, is one of the best. I mean, it's one of my favorite versions of one of my favorite castings. So this one I'm going to be genuinely excited about. But I also like collecting the Zamacs, like I said, because you might have a version at least of a model. Super Treasure Hunts are like that too, that maybe you wouldn't typically collect. Now, this one I really like, the BMW 2002. I've always liked this casting. And I think this one, while it's raw and pretty bare on the front and pretty bare on the back, I wonder if they would have redone this one, if they would have had like maybe a break, like part of the interior or something coming out each direction, for at least on the front grille. But this one, I mean, it's been around for a long time, but this one looks really good just in clean with the M deco on it. I think that's pretty nice. And then, of course, if I remember correctly, there's two other versions of this casting this year, and with the racing stripes on it. And this one has those. This one's done really well with those new kind of 4-spoke style wheels. It's hard to see there. There you go. But they did a more narrow stripe on the outside, so it looks different. Almost looks premium. I bet some people might have thought that was a real rider on it, but that's just a really well executed model. It's had different wheels on it. All the rest of them. That's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is number 6. 55 Chevy. These were all released in pairs. So the BMW was released with the 55 Chevy. Not to be confused with this one, right? But very similar silhouette, but a very different model and a very different car maker. This one has another similar kind of art car kind of thing. There's your Zamac logo, Hot Wheels. Pretty nice model too. I would say, like, I don't mind. It's not really, I mean, I want good castings. I like the Mercury, or I like some of these other, but it's just not generating a ton of excitement, this. So sometimes they really do. See, and then you get to something like this. This is number 7, the Punk Rod. Fine, and fine as a Zamac, I guess, but it's not going to generate a ton of excitement for me. This is number 7, and I don't know, maybe some of you do. And I guess I'm kind of speaking out of both sides of my mouth in this case, because you've got this model here that I'm saying, like, it's nice to have models that I don't typically collect in this collection of Zamacs. So I guess out of the 12, I won't mind having something like this, some generic model, but still doesn't mean I have to be excited about it, you know? So, and it's a cool casting, and actually, you know, probably the first time I've ever opened one, so I get a sense of that. It's actually probably pretty cool design. So yeah, I'll give that. Kind of a cool race car modified looking thing. All right, so that goes in there, and it will stay in there. That's number 7. This is number 8. This is, you know, we'll have to figure out which one I like the best, but this is up there. I really like the releases of the Cadillac Project GTP Hypercar. I'm hoping to see one maybe even go to premium in an actual race livery, similar to the Ferrari. The Peugeot got a race livery as well, but this one has been planned. I wonder if that's a Cadillac thing. I have to think it maybe is, because what was it? Black and blue for the first one, and then this year we've had, I think, red, yellow, and this Zamac version. Now, it looks really cool with the gold trim, the gold wheels, and kind of that clean deco. I'm wondering, maybe once Cadillac releases or does more with this car or something, they'll have be able to put some deco on it. But when you go up close, you can see Zamac really does mean raw. I think they put some little finish on the bare metal, of course, but you know, you can see all the blemishes there, and that's meant to be, right? It's meant to be like that. That's a cool model. Might be my favorite. This one's very nice too. Land Rover Defender 90. Nice to see this one. This is a casting that I like a lot. Not enough to collect every version of. I do have all the premiums of this one in Fast and Furious. I think it's been in Car Culture and Boulevard. So there's some nice versions. There's also the convention model that Dimitri did during COVID that's in the Ukraine colors, which is very cool too. And so, yeah, but this one is nice to have as a Zamac. They put it there on the top. That's cool. So that's number 9, 8. 9, 10, oh yeah, 8. Here's number 9. Making sure, no, this is number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's right. 10, 11, 12. That's what happens to do a video. All right, this is the 2017 Ford F-150 Raptor. Where's that Zamac? There it is. 10. It's nice. It's actually a nice deco. Kind of a Ford. That's kind of an off-road Ford performance deco. I don't even remember what the colors are on this one. But this has been, this variants of this casting in RLC with the opening hood and opening tail, premium and basic. I can't remember which one came first, but it is a nice casting. And there's a lot of fans of Raptors. I don't tend to be one. I'm not a huge fan of the Ford Raptor, but then again, I don't drive them, so once I drive them, I might really like them. Volvo 240 Drift Wagon. Cool to see this as a Zamac. The regular version is kind of a silver color, so it did confuse me a little bit. This is an actual Zamac Drift Wagon, so it has the mismatched wheels on it. Let's just open it up. This has been a super treasure hunt. Fraser designed this one, I think. This has been a super treasure hunt. It now is a Zamac, which is very cool. I love that they put the 3 spokes on the back here. Looking good. And then the Aero style wheels in the front. It's a cool casting, to be honest. I like that we have, was it the 850 in more of a factory style? Maybe it's a little bit low, but this one as a modified drift model. Look at the back there. That's cool. I like it. All right, and the last one, number 12. These are just hitting now, the Jaguar XJC V12 Coupe in the Q case. So I'm maybe a little bit ahead, but I know some people are getting their hands on the Q case, and it should be... Have I opened the P case? I think I have. It happens to do videos. I think the Q case is next. No, I haven't opened the P case. No, I haven't opened the P case because isn't that the gray Ferrari recolor? And I don't have that yet. So I guess I'll do that when I get it. So I have the P and the Q case to open still, but this will be with the Q case when they hit Walmart's, is the Jaguar XJC V12 Coupe along with the Volvo wagon. This is a new model released in white in maybe the last case. So N case maybe? Yeah, N case. So just seeing that one on the pegs, and now we have the Zamac version. I think this might be the only new casting. Is this one new? Was it new this year? I don't think any others were new this year, but this one is, and so it's nice to see this one as a Zamac released right away. Cool modifications. It's a really great casting, and I've seen a lot of like historic racing fans really dig this model, modifications on it. It's a beautifully done, I think this is a Fraser model as well. Just really, really kind of perfectly done as a modified racing Jag, and looks good as a Zamac as well. Okay, so there's your 12. Well, now let's grade these and we'll go to the red editions. I mean, it seems like a solid C+, right? I mean, it just does not generate enough excitement. I can't say it's bad. This annoys me, of course, but what are you going to do? That's decent, that's decent, that's decent, that's decent. That's probably the best. This might be my favorite, one of these two, but this one's probably the best one. This is the only clean one. I always like having the clean ones. It's a C. It's a C. It's just right in the middle. Nothing to get too excited about, but you can't hate it, right? You can't hate it. It could be a lot worse. So that's that grade. All right, let's move on to the red editions. All right, red editions, Target red editions. These were the last 12 right here, starting with the Charger last year in 2024. Decent year once again, ended really well. The last, and these are released in 3s actually. So the Zamacs are released in 2, every other mix, I think. And then these are every 3rd mix is released in 3s or something like that, with the Target red editions. The final 3 were just fantastic. You had the BMW, the Toyota truck, and the tuned Porsche. Really, really good mix, like one of the best mixes they've done. And then the others were okay. I really like the Alfa Romeo. The DeLorean was an interesting choice. Skyline was cool. So it was a decent mix. And then of course above here is the 12 from the year before. Actually, that was a really good year. I really love the black Audi, the Cadillac. Of course, the Liberty Walk Sylvia. That was a good year, too. So, so red editions have been doing pretty well. We'll see how this compares with the Zamacs. That Zamac was not great. Now, you can see here, actually, that this case is full, so it's time to move on to another one. Instead of just, you know, moving on to a totally fresh case, to save some space until I actually need it, since we've filled up this case with the Zamacs, I'm just going to move to the other side here. And in order to put new Zamacs in, we'll just start, right here. We'll move the, when we get into 2026. And we've already done some, haven't we previewed some Zamacs for 2026? I think we have. I don't think we've done any red editions. So we will add the red editions to this case for now. I hope that's okay with everybody. Let's get right to it. And this one starts out with a bang. Honda Civics are always popular. This is the 90 Honda Civic EF. This has been a Target exclusive. This has been a Zamac twice. And now it's a red edition. So nice to see this one. I think this has been a light green, and there might have been another color. This one gets a maroon. Now, the one thing about the red editions, it's different from the Zamacs. Obviously, the Zamacs get a variance in color, and then there's the base color is gone. The base paint is gone. In this case, red, Target, we already know it's associated with Target, and they'll just kind of take that theme, and you'll see different shades of red. You typically will see some hint of red somewhere in these models, and I think all of these have it. But you'll see some that are black just with red trim. But anyway, this one's more of a maroon red color. And then they have the, excuse me, the word red somewhere on the body. And that's fairly new too. So there it is. Really nice. I think that having the headlights doesn't get the taillights done. This casting typically doesn't. I do not think this has gone to premium, which is surprising to me because I think it'd be a great premium model. And there's been some really popular Civics, right? So that one's pretty nice. I actually say that's really nice. I think that's a great model. That's number one. And then as great as that one, this one's terrible. I know this is the custom Cadillac Fleetwood, but I just am not a fan of this casting. I guess it's cool and stylized, but it's super light. And by the way, the red editions that are different here, the Zamacs will still have the same numbering and theme, numbering or like subgroup, like line that the original car is in, and then it will just say Zamac here. These actually go with red edition badging and then their own number. So here it is. It's a cool stylized car. I think that's cool. But there's your red. It doesn't, I don't know, because there's so much plastic on it and it's super light. It's okay. But, I would never collect this casting. I mean, I like the style of it. I think I can get this to fit in here. I think I can. Gotta really push it, though. There, yeah. It's stuffed in there. That's all right. All right, that's number two. Number three. I love the small block as an original model last year. And then as a taxi, I haven't liked it as much. I kind of said it was kind of based on an old, like, Boy Scout Pinewood Derby car. And it still is, but with deco and stuff and not that brown color, which, I mean, they have to do something with it. It loses its luster a little bit. I still think the design is pretty fantastic. And I guess this is okay. And doing the plastic, they did the metal chassis and then the plastic body. And that's on purpose because the plastic body has more of a wood feel to it, the way they did it, the way they textured it. Your red is right there. Is it on the other side too? Yeah, it is. So it's okay. Yeah, so awesome, not great, okay. That's the start we're on. That's the first mix. Here's the second mix. This is number 4 of 12. Is the 2024 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500. This has been a super treasure hunt, right? It's also been in premium, if I remember correctly. Nice design. The Mustangs, same thing kind of thing. Like the casting's great. I actually collect these Mustangs. Hot Wheels tends to, when they release a new Mustang casting, they tend to release it in its factory colors and factory like stripes, and then they kind of do their own thing after that. There's your red. So like this stripe here and stuff. And I tend to not collect these, but if it's a red edition, I do, and in it goes. That's number 4. Here's number 5. 2020 Ram 1500 Rebel. Good choice. Not everything has to be my favorite, right? And I assume there are some truck fans that like this one in Rescue. And it, fits as a almost like a lifeguard vibe in this red. Isn't one of the originals in white with red trim this year? One of the regular versions? I think it is. Nice that it has the front grille done. Again, casting, I like the Raptor. It's not a casting I get too excited about, but it's well done. That's for sure. All right, this is just because it's one of my a casting that I love, I'll say, and it really does go down my alley. So this one really kind of props up Red Editions. This is the number 6 model from that second mix, the Mercedes-Benz 500e. I've loved every release of this casting. It has been a store exclusive already too. It was white for Dollar General, I think, a few years ago. It's been premium. It's been a premium chase. Don't think it's been a super treasure hunt. It would make a great one if they wanted to do it. Make a great plain Zamac too. So now we've seen it in 2 store exclusives, and this one in this kind of maroon color, almost brown, but red enough to be red. And this has been released in 2 colors this year, right? Including green and then maybe gray. So I have this one that's going to go in the Red Edition collection. And then I have a second one that I'll open and put in my Mercedes-Benz collection. There's the red right there in the back. Love this one. Just love it. So I think of all the castings, this is the only one that I want a second of to put in my actual like Lamley loose car collection. That's not part of just a store line. Datsun 240Z. Love this casting too, but I only collect a few of this one. But obviously it's going to go in. This was Leeway did this design, right? In pink and in light blue with the cherry blossoms. And then of course doing this in red. I think doing this deco in red. It's a really cool, like a really cool design. Here it is. So the cherry blossoms remain because they are cherry blossoms. They don't, you change the color, they're not cherry blossoms anymore, right? There's your red. So I like this one. I like this one as a red edition too. Just the execution, solely the execution. I like the casting too, of course, but solely the execution makes this one, I think, one of the better ones of the year, just because that deco that Leeway did is so pretty. Really well done. All right, that's a good one. That's, we're now in the 3rd mix. Here's number 8 of 12. That was 7 of 12. So here's one that has the black trim. So we were all red, right? A couple maroons and then bright red. Now we get this one with the red trim. You wouldn't know it's a red edition unless it has the word red here and it says red edition on the card, right? But it does, and we know it's a red edition. So this is the Lamborghini Huracan Storado, the off-road Lamborghini. I think I kept, like, the Lamborghinis are very similar. I keep usually the originals if they're in more of a factory style. This one, I think I kept the first issue and I haven't kept anything since. But I guess it's only been, what, 1 year? So it was only 1 issue was released last year. So that one's okay. It's fine. 3, 6, 9 of 12. 68 Corvette Gas Monkey Garage. I don't think this has been a store exclusive before. It has moved to premium. Obviously, the Gas Monkey Garage, the actual Gas Monkey, was gold, if I remember, or kind of a bronze color with flames. And then we've seen this black and green, maybe a moss green this year, and the red edition really takes on a different look. I think we did a sneak peek of this one. Yeah, it's nice. Big blown engine there. Red edition on the back. White with red trim, red chassis. Yeah, casting. I have the Super Treasure Hunt in my Super Treasure Hunt collection, and I have the basic as well. So nice. And now I have the red edition, so that's cool. All right, that's number 9, last mix of the year. And this one is in the end case. So this one, I think people are finding this. In fact, I'm pretty sure people are finding this. VW T3 Custom. I'm trying to remember the colors we've seen this one. We saw 1 issue last year as a new model. Then we've seen, I think, 1 or 2 colors this year, and this is the 3rd. Right? Right, number 10 of 12. VW T3 Custom. Oops. Really cool custom design. And, it doesn't look like much else of any other model. And this one is a red edition. Is cool. There's your red edition with your Volkswagen emblem. Cool racing van. I think it's nice. A nice red edition. Wasn't there another VW van recently that was done as a red edition? Okay, here's a cool one. Gordon Murray Automotive T50S. Teal color, right, this year, if I remember correctly. And then this red edition in maroon. So this is our 3rd maroon. And there it is. Maroon color. Headlight's part of the window piece. That's a nice detail. I think the metal body runs up to the top here. It's a nice casting. Black rims, black trim, red edition. Nice. Yeah, this, I guess you would call this, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily call it, I mean, you could call it clean because I think that black trim is required on that model. So that's how it'll always look. So yeah, it's pretty clean. Where are we at on clean red editions? 1, right? I guess this one kind of. Yeah, I'd call that one. And of course the Mercedes. And number 12, there it is. It is the 75 Chevy Blazer Custom. This has been a popular model. It was a nice premium release for Jaws. If it had a hardtop, it could be Stranger Things. And then it was released this year in 2 colors, I think, and then we get a red edition. So this is nice. Not a casting that I want to collect, but I'm very happy to see it as a red edition because now I have one. Because the other ones I wasn't too interested in keeping, but this one I am. And there it is. The red trim. This gets the back trim, which is nice with the Chevrolet badging. And, you know, breaking the front grille with the, making that part of the interior. That works too. I think they had to modify this for basic as well to make it something they could produce for a little over $1. There you go. Okay, the grade on this one. It's better. It's better than Zamac. The red edition releases are better because this is great. This is great. I think these are all solid. This I don't like, and this one I care less about. But everything else I think is like really well done. You're getting more licensed. I mean, everything's licensed except for the taxi, right? Because that's Cadillac, custom Cadillac. It's good. It's better than it's not an A. You know, okay, I'll say it. You have to have some hype models in this. There's one. The Mercedes maybe kind of, but you know, I guess you have one hype model. You got to keep the collectors, you know, you need a little frenzy in there. I think that's a fair thing to say. So the Zamacs were okay. Didn't really have anything that was crazy, like hype-like. You know, maybe this year maybe we'll see a Ferrari in here. I'd love to see that. Maybe a Zamac F40. That would be wild. I'd love that. We're seeing a Zamac, or we're seeing an F40 Super Trish, so maybe one of the other 2 castings will get the Zamac treatment. I think that would be sweet. Got to get that buzz, because right now I think these were both okay. So B to B minus, the Zamacs were a C. You guys tell me what you think. Right, we're up to date on to 2026. None of these are making the Lamley Award tournament. So I think that's the last we'll see of them on this channel. We got a million other cars that we got to figure out how to get them all fit into the Lamley Awards. I don't think any of these will make it. Tell me what you think. Thanks, everybody. Bye.